Hey everybody, pen name Jay here, and I'm taking a quick comic look at 3 comics, 2 which I was supposed to review last week, but I didn't, and 1 that came out this week. First of all, Ultimate Comics The Ultimates. Thor and the Excaliburs are facing off against a bunch of mystery people who came inside of a dome. The leader of it, which is Reed Richards, is facing off against Thor, and they're talking about, yeah, Thor's a god, we gotta take his power. Where's his power come from? Well, it comes from Valhalla. Well, guess what? Valhalla, or no, not Valhalla, Asgard. Duh. It comes from Asgard. Hey, guess what? Asgard is on Earth right now. Let's go attack it. So they go attack the place. Loki's there. Don't know when Loki popped up. Thor puts his hammer and his son inside a tree. Don't know when that happened. And all of a sudden, it's weird. It's just weird to me. I don't know what's going on. And I was just thrown through a loop because of it. The issue is good. The issue is it's still a little jumpy there, jumps from character to character to character. But they started concentrating a little more on Thor and a lot less on the other characters. So you know that something really big is going to go on with Thor and his world and his life in that issue. And I do give it a quick recommend. If you guys didn't read the first issue or own the first issue, get it, read it, and then read number 2, because it just jumps straight into that. Ultimate Comics Hawkeye. This is a part of the mini-series. Should I say anything about it? Bunch of superpowered beings are running around, and now Hawkeye feels a little overwhelmed. So now he has to take care of all these issues, and it dabs into his past on how he can shoot other people. Well, not shoot other people, but how he has great eyesight, talking about how he mostly sees in black and white, how his eyes are different than other people's, and that's why he can hit his mark all the time. This is a fun issue. He gets some backup in the next issue, and it's a pretty fun backup. Not sure how issue 3 is going to go. I got some time before that comes out. And next up is Static Shock. Static Shock, issue number 2. Alright, Static got his arm cut off by this guy named V-Rule in issue number 1. And then all of a sudden, his arm just zapped right back. And V-Rule's disc was so thin that, of course, it cut him molecule-wise, and his powers kicked in, and then popped his arm right back on. So he did some diagnostics checks, checking himself out, seeing what's going on here and there. And then, of course, he goes in finding out, hey, these guys might be a gang, might be this, might be that, but I gotta look out for who these people are, and they seem like a gang to me. And just like in Dakota, he's what I've learned in Dakota is where to find the gangs. Now, this leaves off with a cliffhanger as well, but there's something that I really needed to concentrate on. Something that really bothered me in this issue. And it was Virgil's sister. Virgil's sister has a doppelganger, a clone. I don't know where this clone came from. I don't know how this happened, but it threw me off real bad. And not because it was bad, not because, it was stuff like that, I never read this issue, so I don't know what's going on. The problem is, I've read Static. I've read it up to the point where it got canceled. I went back and started reading it. And none of the issues deal with this. Every issue that they dealt with mainly concentrated on Static. His sister usually came in and out of the story just to do some wisecracks, but you always find her at home. So I don't know when this happened or how this happened, but it really threw me off. So hopefully the next issue or future issues, they'll explain where this clone came from, how this happened, and what type of status quo does this make. Because, tell you the truth, with the whole revamp of the New 52, some of these characters who seem like they're still established, like Static, actually a few things have changed about them. Remember, this was kind of not a fusion of 2 worlds. This is not a fusion of Like, and it's not even a fusion of 3 worlds. It's a fusion of 3 timelines. Not even worlds, but time streams. Saying, like, what happened in those time streams. So, you know, this is a continuity shift within time. So we're going to see what happens to these characters. This was the only comic I picked up this week, was Static Shock issue number 2. The issue number 2s of the Ultimate Comics I've picked up. Like, one was a few weeks ago, and one was just last week. So, this is pen name Jay saying good day, good morning, good night, whatever.